Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to install Linux Mint operating system on the VirtualBox. Before I continue installing the machine, I'll brief why I select Linux Mint operating system. If somebody would like to move to Linux world from Windows, this is the best operating system to move, and it's a client version, so you can use it as a desktop for your laptop and your desktop PC. So when you're familiar with this Linux version, so you can go to some other server versions such as CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora, those kind of operating systems as well. So there's a good start to start with Linux. Most importantly is open source operating system. So you don't have to worry about licensing or that kind of related payments. Let's get started with this one. So if you want to download the ISO file, you can go to Linux Mint website and you can get it download. So I already have Linux Mint 18.2 64-bit ISO file. So I'm going to use it and I'm going to install it using new option here. So I'm going to give a name, Mint OS, and then the machine folder will be the master folder. So in case later if you want to move this VirtualBox file to somewhere else, maybe another computer, you can take this file and then you can move there and then you can import to VirtualBox software in another machine as well. So here you get the type Linux, that's fine, and the version it already selected Ubuntu 64-bit because this section here we don't have Linux Mint option here. Ubuntu is almost the same as Mint, so we are okay to go ahead with Ubuntu. And here the RAM size, it's recommended 1 GB, so I'll keep it 1 GB, but if you have more RAM you can choose 2 as well, which will be much better. And then here we can create a virtual hard disk for this machine, and its recommended size is 10 GB. So let's go with the recommended size, and when I click create, I'll get this option called VDI VHD VMDK. So I think this VirtualBox this image file is only supported by VirtualBox, not the other virtual environment like VMware or something else. So let's click next here, and then here it gives us two options: dynamically allocated and fixed size. So it looks like dynamically allocated is much better in terms of the space. It will take less space initially, so I'll go with the dynamically allocated. And yes, we are ready to create the hard disk file for the machine. Okay, so now the basic machine is there, but now what we need to do, as we installing operating system in a physical machine using a CD or a bootable USB, here we can insert our operating system virtually to the optical drive. So to do that, what we had to do, we had to go to settings of the new machine we created. Um, and here under the storage I can select the operating system, so choose the virtual drive. So here under desktop I get the Mint operating system, so I select the Mint operating system. So we inserted the operating system into the optical drive virtually, and now we can start the machine by using this start option here. Okay, so let's see what we're going to get. Here it's booting up the machine, and now I can click enter to bypass that counting. And then here, what I want to do, I just want to click Start Linux Mint. Okay, now there are some error message which we no need to pay much attention, but it will quickly give you the live view option. For Linux operating systems, we have a live view options. That means like you can check the features. If you like the features, then you can go and install. So we will prompt to that window here, but I'm not going to play with that window because we already choose to install Linux Mint. So I'm going to permanently install Linux Mint operating system here. So in a minute I'll get okay, we are already there. Yes, here you have to select this option, install Linux Mint. So I'm going to double click the icon here. Yes, now it will start the permanent installation. Okay, here I can select the language, click continue. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi. Let's say yes for that. Click continue. Now here, as we installing it in a virtual drive, we can go and erase the disk and install the Linux Mint. But let's say if you're installing this operating system alongside with Windows 10 or Windows 8, so in that case you have to select some partitioning options or something else, and then you have to select some more options there. But for our case, we will erase the disk and install Linux Mint. So I'll say install now, and I'm ready to continue. I don't want to go back. Then the time zone, actually you can change later as well. I just keep it a default and I'll go. Here I have the keyboard layout. Let's say English US. That's fine. Continue. And here I can put my name. I'll put it the master. So I'll put a password, a simple one, 123456. Confirm 123456. I'll put the login automatically. That will be easy for me. And if you want to encrypt your home folder, you can do it here. Like if the hard disk is stolen, nobody can get the data without getting the password. So I don't want that option here, so I'll just say continue. And now it start to install the operating system here, but I'm not going to continue the whole process here because I already have installed Mint operating system in my VirtualBox already. So I'm going to cancel this one here, otherwise we have to wait for some time. So I'm going to power off this machine here, but I'm going to continue with the one I already have. Okay. So one more thing I need to mention here, like when the installation is finished, you have to make sure you're going to remove the virtual disk. If you go to settings, storage, this one, from here you can remove the disk. So you have to make sure like you remove the disk before you start it, restart it. And here let's start and see how it looks like and what basic functions we have. Let's see quickly about it. It gives me some error messages, but that's fine. I'm expecting to get the Mint graphical view very soon. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm in the Linux Mint operating system. The graphical view is a little bit simple, and this environment we call it Cinnamon desktop environment. Like if you aware a little bit about Linux operating systems, you know there are some desktop environments like KDE desktop environment, Genome desktop environment, and Cinnamon is something comes by default with Linux Mint. So here now under VirtualBox, actually my physical machine have internet. I want to check if my VirtualBox Linux Mint operating system have internet now. So in that case, basically to verify internet, I can use a command like ping 8.8.8.8, which is a public DNS server, belongs to Google. So I get a reply from this thing. So that means I have IP connectivity to the internet. So let me see if my PC can resolve the DNS. Let me do a ping yahoo.com. Okay, so it looks like all good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the web browser. So I can see here, I have the Firefox web browser by default. And if you want to install Chrome browser, you can install it later. But I'm going to use Firefox web browser and see if I can do some browsing. Okay, it directing to the Linux Mint web page, but I'll go to Google. Let me search something. It looks all good here. Okay, basically you have internet without any big configuration, so that means it's really user friendly. If you connect it to the internet, it will automatically get the internet. And if you want to go to like let's say you want to use a mail client, so you can check what mail client available. So if you go to internet, you will see Thunderbird is the mail client you have with Linux Mint. Actually, most of the Linux versions they use Thunderbird mail client as their default mail client. And here you have some other applications as well. And like the Windows, you have the preferences. So you can change the date and time. If you want to change the backgrounds, that options you can change here. The Office packages like for Windows, Windows Office 365 or that kind of options. Here we have something called LibreOffice, which is open source solutions again. And replacing Word, we have LibreOffice Writer. Replacing Excel, you have LibreOffice Calc. And Draw, I think it's PowerPoint. Yeah, so you can check this all the things out. And this is the way to install and get the basics here. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel so you will get more new videos later. And if you want me to do any videos on any options in Linux Mint or any other Linux operating systems, you can comment down so that I can do some videos on that. So thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.